Hello everyone. Welcome to my stream. I know no one's here, but you know what? That's fine. Welcome to my stream anyways. So today I am continuing to play Minecraft with Acorn on my head, who got their mic, so they will also be streaming on their Twitch channel, which is also Acorn on my head. So yeah, it's gonna be real fun, you guys. It's continuing our journey. It's gonna be great, and the server isn't working because it says it's offline. This is a great way to start the stream. Oh my gosh. But yeah. So hopefully everything goes well. And if not, you know, that's okay, and we'll work through it. We'll work through it. So as soon as the server gets running, even though I started it like a little bit before stream, I guess, since no one joined, it decided not to work. But you know, we're good. Yeah. So yeah. Join with Acorn. Go follow Acorn. Also, if you happen to enjoy my streams, and you're not following, you should follow. And if you are following, you should tell your friends, because it really helps. But if not, then that's okay. Because, you know, you're great, you're awesome. Yeah. So good at streaming, you guys. So yeah, when the server gets booted up, we'll hop into Minecraft and we'll continue playing on our server. I also need to put my death count back up because I had to delete it from my Sims stream because, like, you don't die in The Sims. You know, I don't think a death count is really needed in The Sims. And then if it is, then, you know, that's my bad, but it's fine. Also, I'm finishing a bowl of ramen right now. Also, I got my mask. So, hopefully soon, I will, what am I trying to say? Hopefully soon I will be able to stream with a face cam. Woo! Very exciting. The server is taking a million years to boot up. Hello? Okay. There, that was Acorn on my head, if you heard her. If not, then that's sad, but, the server finally booted up! Woo!
Just a sec, it's...
Okay. Oh, I should probably hold the actual phone. There we go. Okay. If you remember from last time, we got stuck here and then my stream decided not to work. Another thing is, you know, Acorn here decided to return to the house off camera, which, you know, I allowed because it's not like... It's not a big deal. So I need to find a way back, which is probably going to be a bit hard because I am probably going to die. But the good thing is, she got us beds. Woo!
Yes, I did get a
Yes. That's great. If I can find the frickin' cords. Okay, here it is. Okay, -22, 69, and then another thing. Bro, this is, okay. Negative 69, bro, we went so far. Bestie, no, I have the boat. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I had to craft another one.
Yeah, but I have the boat, which, you know, that's good, so I can get back. Because I do not have enough wood, and while, yes, I can mine some, do I really want to do that? Not exactly. Okay. Please. Okay, perfect.
I got like a lot of wood because I cleared some trees.
And then you found the sheep. You found the sheep. Oh, snap. Okay. We explored this island. So, oh my gosh, I keep trying to, like, jump out of it, but that doesn't work. Please.
We got a fish.
Bro, I'm so... Bro, how do I do this? How do I get... There we go. I'm good at this, you guys. guys. I know how to play Minecraft, I promise. That was a complete and utter lie. I low-key, high-key suck at this game. But you know, that's fine.
I don't think you're that bad.
I think I'm that bad. Oh, did you find it? You said you found a lava pool, right?
Yeah.
Cool, because I also just found one. But I also don't have any buckets or, like, anything. What?
I just missed a fish.
How dare you?
I'm
Okay.
fishing.
So...
Well, like...
ouch! Snappity baloo. Please, please, please. Just please, I don't want to die. I'm too young to die. I'm only, like... 5. I'm totally 5 years old, you guys. That's a lie. Please, please don't get me banned. Okay. Yeah, I just, like, lowered my master volume so they could hear me and hear you, because who wouldn't want to hear us talk about random stuff?
I need to check and make sure everything's, like, everything good.
I'm sure it is, I'm sure it is. And if it's not, then, you know, it'll get better, you know? I once heard a wise man say, if you want to stream, just do it. It won't be the best when you start out, but, you know, you learn from doing. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing it. Cause streaming, you know, is one of my 2 passions. Please don't let me fly off the world. That would be really sad. Okay.
I hate floating.
What?
You know when you, like, chop down trees and then you have to, like, wait for all the leaves to...
Oh, like disappear and, like, drop apples and sticks and saplings and schnuff.
I'm still lagging. Do I have to find anything?
No, I thought you disabled it when we were, like, testing out the...
I did, because it, like, reduces lag, and I have very bad.
Yes, I can confirm. And also, if you didn't see, the first technical stream of this, we started out in hardcore, but that idea quickly failed, when she lagged, and I was bad at Minecraft.
I was instantly killed by a creeper.
Yes, because of lag. That was so stupid of me. I probably shouldn't be swimming. I should probably, like, boat, but, like, I want to make sure I'm going in the right direction, because I need to get back home. I need to see my wolfie pets, my Goose. I need to see Goose again, you guys. Goose is my favorite person on this server. Like, no one else can compete for my love for Goose.
You're so mean.
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I love you.
I want to get him a name tag.
Ah, shoot. Okay. Okay, this is like 69. Okay, 69. Let's go, peeps. Shut up. Oh, it's supposed to be -22. It's the frickin' why that's 69. That's why it didn't look right.
There's some iron in the chest for you.
Okay, thank you. You're such a good best friend. I changed my mind about Goose being my favorite person on the server. Goose is my favorite animal on the server. Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. See, I'm nice.
Going fishing.
I promise you guys, I am nice. It's just for show me bullying. Bullying is bad.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
You literally burning my flowers last night.
Okay, look. You set me on fire. You know, the flowers.
Okay.
The flowers are an inanimate object, a not real object. I am real. And, I don't know if you noticed this, but it really hurts when you, okay, we're at 22.
Set on fire. Yeah, that does kind of hurt.
Yeah, okay, shut up.
Are you almost back?
No! God! -46. Okay. The last thingy is -46.
Oh my god. Okay, I also removed the. Oh, you can't even see it. I removed the numbers.
-40.
Of my username.
Please. Oh yes, that did happen.
It's still me, guys. Still me.
No, it's not. I have a new best friend who's taking over your identity. Hi, dog. Do I have bones? I don't have bones. Please don't kill me. Oh. Why did I think the dog was gonna kill me?
Where are you?
I'm trying. I'm in a freaking forest. Cause someone was all like,
Oh, you know what? I should just abandon you.
Hey, you literally gave me permission.
okay, but I was hoping you would be nice and be like, actually no, I'll wait for you since I'm such a good friend.
What do you think I am?
Not a good friend. That was a joke. I'm just kidding. I love you. I love you, bestie.
No, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I know. Okay. Bro, we're like boating for years. So. It feels like there's a much quicker way that I could have gotten here. Or gotten home, but something is preventing me, probably because I'm just stupid sometimes. Please, I need to get. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to go.
Salmon.
I don't care about it.
I'm also gonna. Whoa, heck.
What did you do?
I'm also eating salmon like in real life for dinner.
Oh, that's nice.
Why did I just wait so long?
Okay, which way is Y? How do I get my Y to stop increasing? Because I was like heading this way, but then when I head that way, it increases, and I'm so confused.
Well, the way I do it is I like.
Shit.
Okay, this may sound dumb, but like, I like get the chords and then I just like see which direction increases it, which one decreases it.
That's what I tried doing, but now I'm just like too far away. Okay. Maybe I'll try landing. Going on.
You can do it.
I don't. Okay, wait. What was that last one?
I'm gonna go look for you.
Negative 46. Bro, I'm so like I'm hundreds of blocks away. No, wrong way. No, never mind. Is that the? Which way is the right way? It seems like every way I go is just like going not me the negative. Please. Seriously, did I literally? I'm gonna cry. Okay, we're going in the right direction now.
Why am I lagging? Oh my god.
Oh, we're going in the right direction both times because they're both decreasing, which is it's good. It's good, you guys. I promise. I promise everything's good. Everything's fine. Seriously? Seriously, I crossed over the gosh darn ocean? What did you say?
Are you good?
No. Do I sound like I'm good?
Take some deep breaths.
You know what? Shut up. You know what I think about that? Wait, here we are. We're like really close. Well, we're not like really close, but we're really close on like the Z coordinate, cause
I'm gonna. Not what you call it.
here. No, but that.
Lava can slow like up to 100.
I don't know. I thought you said you were gonna come look for me. Stop.
I looked over the mountain. It's almost nighttime. You might want to.
It's almost nighttime. Did I? I didn't notice.
I'm just watching it.
Shut up. You can go like. Shut up.
Oh my god.
What? I just said you can go shut up. I didn't say anything mean. I'm just. Oh my gosh, I'm being texted. Don't you know I'm in the middle of a stream? Sorry. I love you. Because, you know, sort of, kind of, maybe, sort of my girlfriend who texted, so I should probably be nice. I love you, girlfriend. Undisclosed named girlfriend. My girlfriend. Ah! Fudge! Fudge! I hate everything.
Yeah, you have a girlfriend. You shouldn't be telling her that.
What?
You have a girlfriend, you know. You shouldn't be saying I love you.
Come and go away! Please! Can I just, like, die? Bestie, what if I told you I lost? What?
I don't know where you are.
Yeah, well, maybe if I just, like, drown myself, I'll get, like, respawned. Should I do that?
You're gonna drown yourself?
Yeah, actually, here, creeper, blow me up.
What? You're just lost all your stuff.
Oh, crap.
What are you doing?
In my defense, I'm used to playing where I have keep inventory on, but, bestie, I'm stupid.
You know where you were?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. If someone's...
Well, but that's your responsibility now. That's your responsibility to get your stuff back.
Well, maybe I don't care about getting my stuff back. Half of it you gave to me, so... Maybe if someone watching wants to go back and be like, hey... Oh, shoot, the house is nice. Goose! I missed you so much. Oh, my sweet
I'm
little...
outside, I'm fishing.
Okay, is the iron in the chest for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Little 7 ingots. Ew, I got rotten flesh.
Okay. Well, if I take some wood, I can make a what's it called? The shield. Shield. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I have to, okay. Looking at the achievements, or the advancements, because as you all know, my goal is to get all the advancements. Bestie. Where did,
Yeah.
oh, hi. I have a favor. Ask. So, if you could just, like, pick up lava in a bucket, dig a hole, put the lava in the bucket, give me the bucket so I can pick up the lava so I can get an advancement, that would be really helpful. Also, do you want to sleep?
Sure. Or doesn't it work if you just...
It does, yeah. Okay, look, it said pick up a I'm gonna sleep.
Okay, good. You chose your bed.
I literally told you I wanted the yellow one.
I know, but I was scared you might sleep in the wrong one, and I was gonna tell you.
Wow, you're such a nice person.
What if we just both wake up, like, staring at each other?
Mwah! Ow! Frickin'. Keeping it PG, keeping it PG. Wait, okay, so bestie. This is a stupid question. This is but how do you, like, block? Like, how do you, what button is, like, block?
How do you block? It's just like if you...
Oh, right. Okay. I feel so stupid. Crap, where did I put my phone? What did I do with my frickin' phone? I found it. I forgot I was using it to look at Twitch chat. Now I remembered, so I'm gonna look at it, because I needed to look at something. I forgot what I was gonna look at. It was something about the stream, but I literally cannot remember for the life of me. Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay, so much copper.
Deflector projectile. Why do we have... Because I was mining in my mine, and there was a lot of copper in my mine. Okay. Okay. Now I gotta block a projectile with my shield. Oh, bestie, do you have any bones?
Okay. Wait, come here. Hold up your shield.
No, like, I think projectile means like a bow and arrow, like a pew pew.
Yeah, I was looking.
Hi, dog. What was I gonna... Oh, right, do you have any bones?
Nope.
Darn it. I need my bones. Here, I'm gonna really quickly, like, craft a frickin'... I can't craft a chest plate. I'm an idiot. Sorry, I'm not an idiot. I am great. Okay, cool. Okay, do you have a bow? Is that what you're, like, doing?
I don't know.
Oh, how dare you. Okay, I guess I go half...
Over here, where I cleared out a bunch of stuff.
Oh, are you gonna attack me with a Oh. I don't have a fishing rod. It's sad. The second I sat down with you, you stood up and walked away from me.
Oh, oops.
Hashtag healthy friendship goals.
I got a salmon.
Yay! Salmon!
Or you can have it.
Oh, thank you. Because the thing is, if I have a skeleton, it's like multitasking. Because, here's why it's multitasking. Because I can get a bone and I can get hit by an arrow. Sorry, I did not mean to close the door in your freaking face. Ooh, okay, you see. If I get some sticks. Don't you just love sticks? Anyways, if I get sticks. I can't craft it out. It's not so sad. But I can craft a sword. We love them swords. What are you doing?
I'm fishing you.
Wait, would that count as a projectile thingy?
Maybe.
Darn it! No, that didn't work.
Broke your shield.
Shut up. I need to find a skeleton. Here, I can go out in the night.
I don't think you're gonna find any when it's daylight.
I know, that's why I said I can go out into the night in the night. Bestie, we should also probably start our farm.
Yeah. I should like look for cows and stuff.
Yeah, but can you help me with the whole the hoe and the water and stuff? I have some
Did you
seeds.
use all the iron?
Yeah.
Did you use all the iron?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Also, I was about to say I have some seeds, but then I remembered I'm pretty sure. Wait, no, maybe I left the seeds when we were going adventuring. Let's see. Because I was going to be like, I think I died with the seeds, but I might have left the seeds while we were adventuring. I did not. Okay. You know, maybe
Okay,
die.
I'm looking for two.
Okay, in my defense,
There was one. I don't know.
in my defense, I probably would have died anyways. Because I suck at this game. That's why the title is like something about me sucking at this game. You know, I know why. What? A bunch of iron. Bro, why are none of these freaking things dropping seeds? Just like, man. I just want to find freaking seeds. Just like, please, I like my seeds. Hi, chicken. Oh, I got a seed! I got 2 seeds! Hello, chickens. You guys are really cute. So many Herobrine in Minecraft. Not clickbait. 3 a.m. Don't forget 3 a.m. Oh, shut up. Being tee-hee-hee-hee funny. So shush, I know Herobrine's not real, you banana pant. Banana bucket pant. I'm sorry. I wasn't in it. Maybe it was Herobrine. I'm just kidding. I know Herobrine's not real. Please don't hate on me. I'm not stupid, I promise. I'm a grade above in math. I know how to math. Oh, seeing the squid reminds me, there's this one time. So, I was playing on my friend's Minecraft world. And they were all like, here, and I'm like, is it on like where the monsters don't appear? And she's like, yeah, of course it is. And so, or maybe it wasn't, but she changed it. But the point is, it was supposed to be on peaceful, but then I saw the squids, and I was like, I thought you said it was on peaceful, because the squids, they're terrifying. I'm gonna be a little bit honest.
I need to go turn on or turn off Amplify
Okay,
so I can see. So
so you can see.
go to
like
Yeah,
seeing.
actually. I'm a fan of seeing.
Are you though?
Yeah.
Do 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 do. Is that copyright? It probably is copyrighted. Maybe I should shut up. You know, don't you just oh gosh. Also, sadly, I won't stream tomorrow because I have a very busy day. But I will be back on Saturday, and on Saturday I will be streaming some Stardew Valley. If any of you remember, there was a little bit to go, and by a little bit I mean a while ago, where I was on a quest. I was on a quest, you see, to marry Abigail. That quest sort of kind of failed. So I'm restarting the quest to marry Abigail, and that will be starting this Saturday. And I will be streaming Stardew Valley every Saturday. So you should tune in because I'm a good YouTuber sometimes.
Yes, do it, guys.
Yeah.
What is this lag?
I don't know.
Well, this kid goes kind of deep.
I don't even know where I am. I might have lost the house again.
Where's